15 Secrets that the Vatican doesn't want you to know. Diving into the heart of the Catholic Church. The Vatican holds a series of secrets and mysteries that go beyond its spiritual duties. This video reveals 15 undisclosed aspects that the Vatican, the smallest sovereign state in the world, might prefer to keep hidden. The Vatican's hidden archives. Few places in the world have a history as rich and enigmatic as the Vatican's apostolic archives, a space shrouded in myths, speculations, and conspiracy theories. It is claimed that their contents go beyond mere records of the Church's history. The archives, officially called the Apostolic Archive, hold approximately 85 kilometers of shelves filled with documents dating back to the 8th century. This vast historical collection includes letters from Michelangelo, a 60-meter parchment detailing the trial of the Knights Templar, and documents from the Inquisition. However, only a limited number of scholars can access this information, raising questions about what else might be hidden within this enigma. Despite recent efforts by the Church to clarify the archive, including its renaming to the Vatican Apostolic Archive in 2019, fascination with its secrets continues to grow. There are lost gospels, incriminating evidence of extraterrestrial life, and theories about the lineage of Jesus Christ. But before you like and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications of more surprising videos, a topic of great curiosity involves the Vatican's role during World War II. It is alleged that some documents in the secret archives could clarify Pope Pius XI's stance during the Holocaust, possibly indicating a covert alliance with Nazi Germany. However, without unrestricted access, this conjecture remains. Another frequently mentioned document is the Third Prophecy of Fatima, supposedly revealed to 3 shepherds in 1917 by the Virgin Mary. The Church disclosed the prophecy in 2000, but skeptics believe it is hidden in the Vatican archives. While the Church argues that the restrictions aim to protect fragile documents and avoid misunderstandings, the limited access to the archives fuels theories about cover-ups that could undermine the Church's image and authority. The Vatican's secret archives remain a symbol of the Church's complex past, an intriguing maze of history and speculation that continues to attract global interest in the secrets that may be concealed. The controversy surrounding the bones of St. Peter, one of the foundations of the Roman Catholic Church, is a mystery that is both literal and symbolic. The remains of the first pope of the Church. This enigma has been a focal point of controversy, attracting both believers and skeptics from various parts of the world. The story begins beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, where a necropolis was discovered during excavations in 1940. In the maze of mausoleums, archaeologists found what is known as the Trophy of Gaius, a monument believed to mark the burial site of St. Peter. In 1968, Pope Paul VI announced the discovery of St. Peter's bones in a repository near this monument. However, there have always been questions about this claim. First, the bones were not in the original tomb, but in an adjacent location. Second, although covered with a purple cloth, they had gold treatment, typical of highly important individuals. No conclusive evidence links them to St. Peter. This mystery continues to generate controversy, leading many to doubt the authenticity of the remains. Despite the lack of definitive proof, the symbolic value of the bones for the Church remains. Regardless of their veracity, they represent the unbroken lineage of the papacy, a direct connection to the Church's roots, and for many, a link to the life of Jesus Christ. The secrets of Fatima represent one of the most enduring mysteries of the Catholic Church, with the third secret being the most discussed. In 1917, in the small village of Fatima, Portugal, 3 young shepherds allegedly had a visit from the Virgin Mary, who revealed 3 prophecies to them. The first 2 secrets foretold the end of World War I and the imminence of World War II, and were disclosed by the Vatican in 1941. However, the third secret remained undisclosed until 2000, generating much speculation. When finally revealed, the third secret presented a vision of a bishop dressed in white suffering martyrdom alongside other Christians, interpreted by the Church as a prophecy of the assassination attempt against Pope John Paul II in 1981. However, this interpretation sparked controversy, as many believe the secret's content is more alarming, suggesting a schism in the Church, the end of the world, or evidence against the papacy. Conspiracy theories gained strength with Sister Lucia, one of the visionaries who supposedly wrote The Secret in a letter to be opened by the Pope in 1960. Lucia claimed that at that time, everything would become clearer, but Pope John XXIII chose not to reveal it, intensifying speculation. Despite the Church's attempts to clarify the third secret of Fatima, its content and interpretation continue to generate significant debate and interest, both among the faithful and in circles specialized in Vaticanology. At the heart of the dogma of the Roman Catholic Church is the belief in the infallibility of the Pope. According to this doctrine, when the Pope speaks ex cathedra, in his official role as pontiff, he is protected from error by the Holy Spirit. This claim of divine protection generates questions and controversies both within and outside the Church. Papal infallibility was formally defined at the First Vatican Council in 1870, sparking intense debate, with critics arguing that it contradicts human fallibility and undermines the authority of Scripture. Moreover, opponents viewed it as a means of centralizing power, placing the Pope above councils and the collective wisdom of the Church. While the doctrine is generally applied to matters of faith and morals, its scope is controversial. Some argue it applies only to explicit statements on faith and morals made ex cathedra, while others believe it encompasses a broader range of topics. This ambiguity generates debates about the limits of infallibility and the risk of power abuse. Critics also question the historical accuracy of the doctrine, pointing to instances of popes who erred or held contradictory opinions. Supporters argue that infallibility protects the Church's teachings from error, ensuring unity and consistency. They emphasize that this doctrine is rarely invoked and that the Pope acts prudently in doctrinal matters. Ultimately, papal infallibility remains a cornerstone of Catholic faith, influencing the Church's hierarchy and decision-making processes, and continues to provoke theological discussions about authority, divine intervention, and the relationship between fallible human beings and an infallible pope. The papacy of Pope Pius XII, which lasted from 1939 to 1958, has been the subject of intense scrutiny and controversy, especially regarding his alleged connections to the Nazi regime during World War II. This chapter examines the historical context and the diverse perspectives surrounding this controversial period. Critics of the Church and of the safety of Catholics during the Holocaust have labeled him as Hitler's Pope. In contrast, his defenders, known as Defenders of Pius, argue that his stance was more complex. They claim he acted discreetly, offering help to Jews and other persecuted individuals, and that he issued private warnings to governments and clergy, facilitating rescue efforts through the Church. According to them, a public condemnation of the Nazis could have resulted in more deaths, including among Catholics. The debate about Pius XI's actions during the Holocaust remains contentious, with scholars and historians presenting various interpretations based on available evidence. The Vatican's archives, accessible since 2020, have opened new opportunities for research and analysis. Pius XI's relationship continues to provoke investigation and controversy, raising broader questions about the Church's role in moral crises, diplomacy versus public condemnation, and the responsibility of religious leaders in the face of human rights violations. The discussion surrounding Pius XII highlights the importance of historical accuracy, in-depth research, and open dialogue when addressing sensitive issues in the history of the Catholic Church. The Vatican Bank, officially called the Institute for the Works of Religion, has been at the center of various financial scandals that have affected the reputation of the Holy See. These scandals have revealed the Vatican's involvement in illicit activities, such as money laundering and financial mismanagement. One of the most notorious cases occurred in 1980 when it was discovered that the IOR was being used for money laundering and illegal transactions. The bank became embroiled in the Banco Ambrosiano scandal, which involved the diversion of funds, ties to organized crime, and the mysterious death of its president, Roberto Calvi. The Vatican eventually paid compensation to Banco Ambrosiano's creditors, but the incident left a stain on its reputation. In recent years, the bank has faced further controversies, such as a money laundering investigation in 2010, which led to the freezing of accounts by Italian authorities. This forced the Vatican to implement reforms to increase financial transparency and comply with international standards. However, In 2013, Pope Francis ordered an investigation into allegations of corruption, resulting in the dismissal of several senior officials and the appointment of new leaders to restore credibility. The recurring scandals of the Vatican Bank highlight the challenges the Church faces in trying to balance its spiritual mission with financial operations, underscoring the need for greater transparency and accountability. While the Vatican continues to work to implement reforms to prevent new scandals and restore public trust, the secrecy surrounding its financial operations persists. In addition to its spiritual significance, the Vatican has an extensive and secretive empire of properties around the world. These properties include not only churches and cathedrals, but also a vast portfolio of valuable real estate. The extent of the Vatican's assets is difficult to assess due to the lack of transparency in its acquisitions and management. It is estimated that the Holy See owns thousands of properties in various locations, including prestigious properties in cities like Rome, London, and New York. This encompasses commercial spaces, agricultural land, and even luxury properties. The secrecy surrounding this real estate empire fuels speculation about its wealth and intentions. Critics argue that the Church's wealth should be redirected to help the needy, while supporters argue that properties generate income to support the Church's mission. The Vatican has attempted to address concerns about its assets, asserting that they are used to fund charitable activities, education, and support for the clergy. Nevertheless, the Church's financial activities continue to be a source of controversy, raising questions about wealth distribution and social responsibility. The Vatican's real estate empire remains a significant aspect of its identity, raising ethical questions about wealth accumulation and the Church's role in addressing global social issues. The Vatican's diplomatic relations are a unique aspect of its political identity, allowing it to maintain influence on the global stage despite its small size. The Holy See has formal diplomatic relations with 183 countries, granting it the status of a sovereign state. This network of relations allows the Vatican to participate in international negotiations and dialogue on issues of global importance. The Vatican's role as a mediator in conflicts and its commitment to promoting peace have historically been recognized, although its effectiveness has varied. The Pope frequently meets with world leaders, advocating for peace, human rights, and social justice. However, the Vatican's diplomatic actions have also generated controversy, particularly concerning its stance on moral and social issues. Some argue that its influence on matters such as abortion, marriage, and contraception can hinder progress in these areas. Additionally, the Vatican's relationship with certain countries, such as China, has faced criticism for prioritizing diplomatic ties over human rights concerns. This raises important questions about the balance between diplomatic pragmatism and moral principles. The Vatican's diplomatic role remains a topic of intense debate, highlighting the complex interplay between faith, politics, and ethics in the global arena. The Catholic Church's historical involvement in political and social issues has sparked debates regarding its influence and authority over societal norms and values. Throughout history, the Church has played a significant role in shaping public policy, education, and social justice. However, this influence has also faced criticism, with detractors arguing that it can lead to moral and ethical conflicts. For example, the Church's opposition to contraceptive methods has been viewed by some as a barrier to women's rights and reproductive health. Additionally, its stance on LGBTQ+ rights has generated significant controversy and debate. Supporters of the Church argue that its teachings promote family values and moral integrity, while critics contend that they contribute to discrimination and exclusion. The Church's influence extends to various aspects of society, including education, healthcare, and social services. Many institutions operated by the Church play a crucial role in providing services to marginalized communities, leading to discussions about the balance between faith-based values and inclusivity. As society evolves, the Catholic Church faces the challenge of reconciling its traditions with contemporary issues, raising questions about its relevance in modern times. This ongoing debate highlights the need for dialogue and reflection on the Church's role in promoting social justice, inclusivity, and respect for human dignity in a rapidly changing world.